to another episode of Two Strike Noise, I'm hoping it's your favorite baseball history podcast, if not at least in the top 100. My name is Jeff. I'm one half of the show. The other half of the show for all 286 previous episodes. Joining us from the Mark Langston studio up in the Pacific Northwest, it is Mark A. Johnston. Mark, welcome.
The Mark Langston studio, everything is left-handed.
The locks are
difficult for me to operate because I'm better with my right, but I have to operate all the equipment, the sound equipment and so on, lefty.
So you might turn yourself down instead of up?
Yeah, you can hope.
And if there's a fire, do you know how to break the glass with that left-handed hammer?
That's the tough part. I don't think I do. I just have to kick it or something.
Okay. All right. Enough of that chicanery. Let's get right into it. Man, we got some topics to discuss since we last spoke. So let's get right into our BP segment. I am sure everybody that is listening to this podcast is well aware that there was a major announcement from that idiot that is the commissioner of Major League Baseball. He has lifted the lifetime bans on pretty much everybody that's ever been suspended and banned from baseball for gambling on baseball, which is
as long as they're dead. Yes.
Yeah. Let's get into that. So Pete Rose is really the main subject here. And I think that's because there is a certain politician recently that I think sees a lot of himself in Pete Rose, somebody that's been wrongly accused and is certainly not guilty of anything, and made, for some reason, statements that he needs to be eligible for the Hall of Fame, even though that is nowhere near this person's lane. But the lifetime ban that Pete Rose got handed to him in 1989 after there was just overwhelming evidence that he bet on baseball while managing the Cincinnati Reds. He denied it, then he admitted it, then he clarified he only bet on his team to win, then he had 18 other excuses as to what he was actually doing. But the ban that was put on him, the Hall of Fame, is who technically banned him. It became known as the Pete Rose rule. Like, you're pretty guilty if they're going to name the rule after you.
It's kind of a prerequisite.
They don't name rules after people that had nothing to do with things. But Pete Rose, of course, passed away last September. And we know what he's done in the game of baseball, right? The all-time hit leader. That certainly should probably get you in the Hall of Fame. Also, the all-time games played, at-bats, singles leader, outs leader as well. That just like Ricky Henderson's been caught more than anybody else. You do it enough, you're going to run into those things. 3 batting titles, 2 Gold Gloves, an MVP award, a Rookie of the Year. The on-field resume is incredible. It's certainly Hall of Fame worthy, but beyond the betting on baseball and then denying it, we don't have to, but I'm going to mention in 2017, a lawsuit was brought against him that he had a adult relationship with a girl who was 14 or 15 years old at the time. Which, there are a lot of unsavory guys in the Hall of Fame, but Pete, though, he claims that she was only 16. That makes it better. It's Pete Rose.
He's
an idiot. This was ultimately settled out of court, so he never actually faced criminal allegations for it, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that he probably did it, just knowing what I know about Pete Rose. Also, a bit of a boomer in terms of race and other things that I have been witness to. Manfred staunchly was against him becoming Hall of Fame eligible when he became commissioner. But then, like I said, some certain politician who feels like they need to stick their nose in anything that has to do with a sexual predator or an a-hole of any sort feels he was wrongly persecuted, and now all of a sudden he is eligible. So, Mark, I want to know what you think. Do you think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame?
I studied what the reasoning behind this lifting of the ban is, and it was all about they're dead now. They can't embarrass us any further. They may have embarrassed us terribly, but they can't embarrass us any further, so we're going to reinstate them. I've always been a proponent basically my entire life that if you're going to put Pete Rose, make him eligible for the Hall, you got to do the same with Shoeless Joe, and which they have made Shoeless Joe eligible now. And so they met my demands. I'm sure that they knew that I was holding their feet to the fire, and that's why you're
really the impetus here.
Yeah, pretty much. Since I've been saying it my whole life, and over the last about 5, I actually had a microphone, but nobody cares. But that's not the point. Does Pete Rose belong in the Hall of Fame? Everything aside, okay, just on stats, numbers, ball playing, yeah, like you said, all these things are definitely Hall of Fame worthy that he's done. In the same manner, should the ban have been lifted? Once the ban's lifted, then he's eligible for the Hall of Fame, and that's fine. But it comes down to, should the ban have been lifted because it's posthumous? And I don't know. I'm torn.
Now, he's not, neither he nor Shoeless Joe will be not eligible, but I mean, they won't appear on a ballot until 2027 when the next Eras Committee ballot comes up. I think it is a voting group of 16 people, which this is not the writers, right? These are, I believe most of them, if not all of them, are other Hall of Famers who do this voting, and they're from different eras. This has always been a sticking point with these era committees, is people voting for their friends and getting guys that might not really be Hall of Fame worthy in there. That's going to be a big thing. Also, the Hall of Fame, I mean, has some say in who's on that committee, I believe. So they can still steer this the way that they want. I mean, they're the ones, not Major League Baseball. They're the ones that are actually conducting this. I don't know how much of MLB's fingers are on them or not. It seems pretty political. But for me, do I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for what he did in baseball? Yes. But would I vote for him? No, I would not.
No kidding. Okay.
I wouldn't.
That's fair.
I don't even know that I would vote for Joe Jackson. And I am a big Shoeless Joe fan. I don't know if his numbers are worthy. So he played for 13 years, 1920 being his final year before he was officially banned. His 356 career average, I believe that is the 6th highest career average in Major League Baseball. He led the league in hits a couple of seasons, on base. I mean, he's got some black ink here. He got MVP votes. I don't know that I would vote him in per se. He's got great postseason numbers, which again goes against the whole, he was involved in throwing the 1919 World Series. Mm-hmm. But again, he knew about it. That is clear. And he didn't actively try to stop it. So I think he is 100% guilty. I don't think he threw anything, but I think he's 100% guilty of how that went down. But I don't think, 13 years, I don't think these numbers are worthy of Hall of Fame.
That's definitely debatable.
And I mean, actually, I pulled up Eddie Seacott's numbers because he's eligible now, right? And yes. Seacott, he played for 14 years, so not a whole lot longer. And he was a pitcher. He won 200 games. He has a career lifetime ERA of 2.38. A 1.23 career ERA plus, was a workhorse, led the league in complete games, ERA, wins twice. I mean, frankly, his numbers are on par with Shoeless Joe. I don't think he deserves to be in there, but you could say that he was just as good a pitcher as Shoeless Joe was a hitter.
Again, arguable, debatable. I can see both sides of that argument.
Yeah, if they put me on the committee, I'm not voting any of these guys in, but I'm not on that committee. So
fair enough.
Now, as I mentioned, there's a lot of guys There's a lot of guys that are now eligible. None of these guys are going to get a serious look except for Rose and Joe Jackson. I went through all of the guys on the White Sox, the 1919 8, and I don't think any of them are really eligible. Not eligible. They're eligible, but I don't think any of them are going to garner serious consideration. I do want to bring up Benny Koff, though. He was banned in 1912 because he was charged with grand theft auto. But he was acquitted because he proved that he was actually at dinner with his wife when this car was stolen. He was acquitted quickly in a trial, but the guy, Kennesaw Mountain Landis, who we all hate just for so many reasons, said that he's no longer fit to be a ball player, and also did not believe that Benny Koff was innocent. He swears that he thinks that he stole this car, which, again, is that really something to keep him out of the Hall of Fame? I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. We'll revisit it in 2 years when the ballot comes up. How about that?
Fair enough.
Speaking of the Hall of Fame, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa on the Pirates this year. He grew up in Hawaii. A great athlete growing up, but he grew up in Hawaii, liked surfing, liked biking and football. But his maternal grandfather said, "Hey, you should play baseball. It's in your blood," he would say. The family had a long-standing legend. They were not able to prove it, that they were related to Ralph Kiner, the late Hall of Fame outfielder for the Pirates, and a legendary Mets broadcaster, like could be in the Hall of Fame for broadcasting and baseball. Kiner-Falefa's grandfather moved to Hawaii for college, and he ended up staying there, and that's how the family is there. But he would tell stories about Ralph Kiner, who, when you look at his numbers, this guy was a heck of a ball player. Led the National League in home runs 7 consecutive seasons with Pittsburgh from 1946 to 1952. That's Babe Ruth-esque, 7 consecutive seasons. But despite these stories and the connection, they were never able to make that connection that they were actually related. And if you look at Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, you can understand why. It doesn't really look like Ralph Kiner. But in 2022, they were finally able to prove it, that Isaiah is actually Ralph Kiner's second cousin twice removed.
There you go.
Ralph Kiner's son, Scott Kiner, was also researching family history because of Kiner-Falefa had mentioned that he thought that he was related, and he's a good baseball guy. So they, using one of these genealogy websites, so the government now has all their DNA, just saying. They were able to verify the relationship and welcome him to the family. So the two met for the first time this week at Citi Field when the Bucks were in town to play the Mets. Kiner-Falefa described it as something he had been waiting for and dreaming about. Scott Kiner was there because his book, One of a Kiner, is getting ready to be released. So he traveled to New York to meet with him there, gave him the first copy of the book. They exchanged gifts where I say I'd give him an autographed jersey. That seems like that's easy, right? If you're a professional baseball player. But he had a great game. He had just come off the DL and against my Mets, but the Mets still won. But he homered in his first at bat with his new relative in the stands there.
Nicely done.
Yeah, it was the Mets made a big deal of it, and Steve Gelbs interviewed Scott Kiner in the stands, and it was really cool. I've got a bunch of stuff on Ralph Kiner that is an episode, and it's really just on Kiner's corner, not even him as a player. And then looking at his numbers, the guy was a great player as well. So I was excited to hear more information about all that.
You know what? It fits the mode of this show, doesn't it? A good ball player from the past. We talk about that stuff.
Yeah, we do. And obviously Ralph Kiner on Kiner's Corner is legendary as just being a goofy, kind of off the wall guy. So that fits in right as well.
That's right.
Mark, have you noticed the baseball uniforms, besides having normal sized numbers and letters on them, we have not had any special uniforms for holidays so far this year. Knock on wood.
This is true.
I'm loving it. Let's hope that keeps up, please. Oh, I hate those stupid uniforms. So let's hope that keeps up. I mean, Mother's Day, there was no pink. I didn't even see guys wearing pink sweatbands or bats.
I thought I saw some pink shoes.
I mean, you can wear those any day now, though.
This is true.
Usually, because, I mean, everyone's decked out in pink, but nothing. So we'll see what is it? Memorial Day is coming up. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. So, Mark, this show is debuting on May 16th. We got a couple of debuts on today throughout history. First of all, in 1914, Harry Heilman made his debut. His teammates called him Harry the Horse. And I don't want to know why they called him that.
Lots of possibilities. Let's not discuss them.
Yeah, I know exactly why. I can assume that baseball players would call somebody else a horse. But he was also known as Dog briefly, and that's because he won a dog. During the 1926 season, he only batted .359. But Detroit, he played for the Tigers, honored him on Harry Heilman Day in 1926. And everybody came to pay homage to Slug. Yeah, Slug, not Harry the Hat. That's somebody else. So including Larry Fisher, who was a local automobile dealer, gave him a new car. The Knights of Columbus gave him a diamond stick pin. I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming you stick things with it. I don't know why it needs a diamond on it. But, maybe it's if you do voodoo. Is that it? Is that what those are called?
I don't think so.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't see the popularity in that.
Okay. Check it. We'll follow up on our voodoo podcast. So be sure to check that out. It's called Sticking Around wherever you get your podcasts. But Patty Pexton, Paddy, not Paddy, not Patty, like Patty Mayonnaise from Doug. We're talking, I think this is Patty, like Patty Power, a guy, gave him an actual hunting dog. And it says with a huge green ribbon around his neck. I don't know why that was important that they had to include that, but wouldn't you want it to be like blue? That's first place, right? A blue ribbon?
Right.
Green, isn't that a participation ribbon? I
think it is because I got lots of them.
Yeah. Also making his debut May 16th, 1938, Sam Chapman. Now, I had not heard of Sam Chapman. He played for 11 years in the big leagues, almost all of it with the Philadelphia Athletics. He split his final year between Philadelphia and Cleveland. He was an outfielder. Let's see, led the league 1 year in strikeouts. That's the only black ink. He did miss 3 years due to military service. He joined the Navy in 1942 through 1944. But this quote is what I wanted to bring up. This is a story that he told. And so he goes like this. He says, quote, "I bought some new spikes and joined the team. I was planning on meeting Mr. Mack, Philadelphia Athletics, obviously, and being assigned to the minors. But he said, nope, you're my left-handed outfielder from California. I said, no, sir, I'm your new right-handed shortstop. But he said, nope, you're playing outfield today. The first ball was hit to me. It was a routine fly. I lost it because I was fooling around with my new flip-down sunglasses that they'd given me. When I picked up the ball, I was so nervous, I threw it into the stands. I thought that would be my last day ever in the majors, but when I got back to the dugout, Mr. Mack said, don't worry, Sam. At least I know you've got a good arm.
Look on the bright side. Spread a little sunshine.
Yeah. Overall, I mean, a career 266 hitter over 11 seasons, 342 on base, 107 OPS plus, and a 17.2 WAR. But just that quote was great. Oh, he's a Florida, Texas. That's where you get a lot of ball players, right? I cannot believe how many Bay Area guys there are. This Sam Chapman. Yeah, even went to UC Berkeley.
Wow.
That was a great quote. I wanted to mention that. I've got a couple of names here I wanted to bring up. First of all, one of our co-producers, Marshall, sent me a email about a pitcher. I've heard of Bob Friend. I know this name. He pitched for 16 years in the big leagues, mainly with the Pirates. We're sticking with the Pirates theme today. Good pitcher. A lot of black ink here. 4-time All-Star, 1960 World Series. We don't talk about that here because of how that ended and who it ended off of. But also won an ERA title. But Marshall wanted to bring to my attention that Bob Friend's full name is Robert Bartmus Friend. I have never heard the name Bartmus before.
What is a Bartmus?
I don't. It's a middle name, apparently. I'm assuming it's a family name. But Robert Bartmus Friend. Thank you for that, Marshall. And that led me, I found somebody else that, had their debut. Didn't really warrant a debut segment, but Hunky Hines made his debut today in 1895. It was, he did play for 2 games. He got in 2 games for the Bridegrooms of Brooklyn. He went 2 for 8. Not bad. RBI, a couple of walks. I mean, his on-base percentage is .400, but that's all he got. Hunky.
Good old Hunky.
Little Hunky, yeah. And then finally, I did want to mention that something strange happened in baseball today. In 1897, fans went to a baseball game in Cleveland on Sunday. Oh, my gosh. It was the first Sunday game to take place in Cleveland. It didn't last very long, though. The police arrested all the players after the first inning on the field. Like, I could just see them in riot gear and horses storming onto the field. Players and even the umpire were booked and released on bail, of which Cleveland, the team, actually bailed them out, except for rookie pitcher John Powell, who the city apparently decided to make an example of. And he was found guilty of playing ball on Sunday and fined $5. Wow. Which that's probably like $1 million back then.
Yeah, something like that.
But I just am picturing them rounding everybody up. Let them play an inning so everybody's in the field at least once, and then let's book them all. Get them all. Round them up. All right, that'll do it for our debut segment. Mark, I am going to hand it over to you. You are driving the bus this week, and you've got a very interesting player to tell us about.
Yeah, as I usually do, I poke through books that I can find on baseball. I read
that have pictures,
different websites, and yeah, you didn't know I read, did you?
Well,
yeah.
I still don't, but go ahead.
Yeah, and I came across this guy, Michael Joseph Donlin, early 20th century baseball player. I'm going to call him what everybody called him back then, Turkey Mike. Turkey Mike Donlin, very interesting figure, American sports and entertainment. He was a good hitter. He was pretty dramatic, both on and off the field, and very charismatic as well. He had a heck of a career. Went on to do other things. He became sort of the very first crossover from sports to entertainment kind of guy.
A dual threat.
So, yes, a dual threat. I don't know if he did stand up as well. That would make him a triple threat. But anyway.
Is that really the category for being a triple threat is stand up?
Stand up comedy. Yes.
Okay. Acting, baseball, and stand up. That's a triple threat. Okay.
Yeah. You can replace.
I don't know the rules.
You can replace one of those with singing, but you got to have 3.
Okay.
All right. I added the baseball myself. By the way.
I was going to say, because I'm bordering on a quadruple threat. Not close, but I'm bordering. Yeah.
Turkey Mike. Back to Turkey Mike. He began his career in 1899 with the Santa Cruz Sand Crabs. He hit .402 over the course of 29 games and caught the attention of the St. Louis Perfectos, who we've discussed on occasion.
We have.
They acquired him for a couple bucks, literally, and
he some
learned
sand
his
crabs.
Promotion to the big leagues while he was in jail for public drunkenness. This is a foreshadowing of
sounds like our kind of guy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He fits the show. Arriving in St. Louis, he gained entry into the ballpark by pointing to a newspaper photo of himself pinned to his lapel and said, "I'm Mike Donlin," which is awesome.
Now, this is 1899. He's going to the Perfectos, right?
Yes.
Which we know all about the 1899 Perfectos as we do the Cleveland Spiders. Because he would have been teammates with Cy Young this year.
That's right. Yes, he debuted on July 19th in 99. In his rookie season, he hit .323 And in 1900, he hit 326. Now, the guy could hit, but he had some issues, as we alluded to, off the field, as well as was not exactly in line for a Gold Glove. Let's just put it that way. He was not known for his defensive prowess, not the wizard. So it limited his playing time. So he ended up going to the Baltimore Orioles at 01 to play for John McGraw. He hits 340 that season. Missed a few games for off the field issues. And then there was a 6-month jail sentence in 1902 for public drunkenness and assault, which got him released.
Oof.
Yeah, that's rough. He went to the Cincinnati Reds for a little while. In 03, they almost won the title. He hit 351. And then McGraw wanted him back. McGraw was now in charge of the New York Giants. So in 04, he goes to play for McGraw again. He hits 329. You see a pattern here. The guy can hit.
Yeah.
All right. And the Giants win the pennant in 04. In 05 was his best season ever, where he hit 356 with 124 runs scored and 216 hits.
Jeez.
So, and then the Giants win the World Series. Donlin hit 263 in the series. He got himself a ring, which I never could find if he hawked it for some booze or not, but I'm just going to assume he did. He had a lot of contract disputes, injuries, and he couldn't decide if he wanted to be just a ball player or a ball player and an actor. That's it. In 06, he broke his ankle and he missed most of the season. And then he sat out the entire 07 season performing on vaudeville with his new actress, Mabel Hite. Mabel Hite and our boy Turkey met, and she was already a pretty famous actress on Broadway. And in 08, she starred in The Merry-Go-Round on stage with Mae Murray and Faye Tincher. So we talk about them on our Old Hollywood and Old Broadway podcast. 06, that's when they got married. They performed together in vaudeville. And this cracked me up. It was a show called Stealing Home. And they toured on this until 1911. This Stealing Home. I tried to find a little bit more about it, but there wasn't. All I could find is it debuted on October 26, 1908 at the Hammerstein Theater in New York. It was centered around baseball themes. It was a hit. Get it? I threw that in for real. It was a hit, and the duo toured extensively, performing to sold-out audiences across the country. Critics praised Hite's performance, while Donlin received mixed reviews.
There's a podcast called Star Wars Minute. There's a bunch of them, different movies, where each week they just dissect 1 minute of a movie. We should do that with Stealing Home.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
No, it wouldn't. It would not. I'm telling you, it would not.
Stealing Home. After that, he caught the acting bug. I wouldn't know what that's like. He was in at least 53 films. Some of them I like the names of, so I put those down. Raffles, the Amateur Cracksman. That was in 1917.
Boy, if that doesn't put butts in seats, I don't know what will.
Right? The Sea Beast, the General. Yes, the General. He played a small role. He was in Warming Up, Thunderbolt, and I didn't know this. He was in The Iron Man, which must have been with Robert Downey Jr., right?
Thunderbolt, isn't that the new MCU movie that just came out? And Iron Man? I mean, this guy is all over.
He shot his parts in 1929 and 1931.
Oh, for the flashback scenes, probably.
Must be it. And in 1933, he wrapped up his career with a movie called The Air Hostess. He never really achieved stardom. I found one quote that said his life was a tapestry of talent, charisma, and controversy. And that really does wrap up Turkey Mike. He had a .333 career batting average, which puts him among the elite hitters of the dead ball era. But his off-field pursuits and personal demons messed up what could have been a Hall of Fame career had he kept hitting, not broken his ankle, stayed in baseball full time. But his impact on baseball and entertainment it really did set the stage for other ball players and other actors to go across mediums and play in athletics and also have a Hollywood career. He was a pioneer in leveraging his athletic fame into a showbiz career. He did set the table for future generations. Turkey Mike passed away in his sleep from a heart attack on September 24th, 1933. Left behind a cool legacy. Got lost, but hopefully maybe us talking about it will bring it back at least a little bit.
Now, why was he called Turkey? I can guess why, but I
he had a long neck.
Okay.
And 2, he walked like a turkey, a.k.a. Ron Say the Penguin.
Yeah, clever baseball players and their nicknames.
Yes. He apparently was not fond of the nickname Turkey Mike, but it happened anyway.
Wow. Yeah, I'm just looking at this. I think he's got a longer rap sheet than he does acting credits or years in baseball. I mean, he did so. If we're talking about guys that, if they were going to go into the Hall of Fame, shouldn't for what they did off the field, this guy is right up there.
Oh, yeah. Mike was a drinker, and he did stupid things when he drank. Imagine that.
These are not good things. I mean, there's funny drunk, and then there's violent, causing other people a lot of harm drunk, and he is the latter, it looks like. And he has it says he has had a scar running down his left cheek from a knifing. And then that's it. No more information.
I mean, what more do you need to know? It's from a knifing.
There's a lot I want to know about that. It looks like he threw a ball at an umpire when he was angry. He put himself into pitch when he was managing long after he was.
I don't know if you've ever seen The General, the Buster Keaton movie, but he played a Union general in that particular movie.
Oh, I assumed you meant like a insurance commercial with Shaq in The General.
Probably. I don't know if they had leveraged commercialism quite at the level that they have now with eugenics and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're probably onto it there. But I had a great time when you told me who this was. I went through and read up about him. And this guy he's an a-hole. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but very interesting. The stuff that he did and the ego of him.
I could see myself being a fan of his back then because the media didn't particularly run to the forefront with terrible stories.
Oh, you would have you would have never heard about any of this, right? There's no 24-hour news cycle or social media. You would have just seen, he went 3 for 4 again.
Right.
Yeah. And
Mike Donlin, he's my hero. He can hit, he can act, he can do it all.
Yeah, he's almost a triple threat.
He can get drunk, he can throw punches.
He doesn't do stand-up. Otherwise, he'd be a triple threat.
If he did stand-up.
All right.
Or sang. I don't know if he could sing or not. I couldn't find anything. But if anybody wants to do a little more research, there's a lot of good pictures and stuff. Some video of him out there. Pretty interesting.
All right. Turkey Mike. I'd never heard of him. And thank you. Very, very rare when we come up with somebody where we're both like, I've never heard of him.
Right. It is rare. After almost 300 shows.
Yeah, we're running out of players, frankly. There's only so many baseball players.
Pretty soon we'll be talking about history being last week. Baseball history.
We talked about Isaiah Kiner-Falefa earlier this week. I mean,
there you go.
But all right, that'll do it for the main segment of the show. Mark, it is time to get into the final segment. And I'm looking at the scoreboard. We're knotted up at 18. Next week, somebody could wrap this up. Next week, somebody's back will be to the wall. Yeah, I've let several leads slip through my fingers. But before we get into the rules and all that other stuff, let's cue the band. Wax back hero! Gonna pull a wax back hero! Young stars in his eyes. On the podcast tonight. As I said, Mark, it's 18 to 18. This is Wax Pack's Heroes. If you don't know what's going on, you're new here, or if you just love rules, let me go over them for you. We're going to open up some baseball cards from generally the Wax Pack era, 80s, early 90s, but we don't limit ourselves. It can be whenever. And what we're going to do, we're going to play the old style kind of war game you used to play with the cards. You slap your card down on the table. Whoever has the highest card would then win and take those cards. But we're going to use Baseball Reference War as that number for the year of the cards. So if it's a 1985 set, we'd look at their war for 1985. A couple of things, though, can add or subtract to that total. Any what we call 80s baseball aesthetics, which kind of is we decide as we go along what all that encompasses. But we're talking about things like real baseball stirrups, where we can see the sanitaries, glasses, whether they be flip down sunglasses that are distracting you in the outfield because you've never had them before, or science teacher glasses that you need to be able to see, mustaches, eye black, pretty much anything on the face. And we haven't had a nose piercing yet, but maybe someday. Any of those things are an extra 1/10 of a point. If it's a really good mustache, we could give a bonus, so it would be like 2/10 of a point. If we see things we don't like 2-in-1 syrups, we're going to minus a 1/10 of a point for those kind of things. Any awards won the year of the card, like Rookie of the Year, Cy Young, MVP, if they were an All-Star, or won a Gold Glove, that is a 1/2 a point for each of those bad boys. If there's a Hall of Famer on the card, whether they're the focus or not, that is a whole extra point because they're in the Hall of Fame. If Ricky Henderson or Nolan Ryan shows up, doesn't matter who has them. I win the round if Ricky shows up. Mark wins the round if Nolan shows up. If they both show up at the same time, they're going to go head-to-head. Hand-to-hand combat is what I'm talking about.
That's right.
Also, pop culture references. If we can easily find them, it is a 1/2 a point, unless they appeared on Seinfeld, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, or The Simpsons. You get a whole point for each of those. And that's always exciting. But if they were suspended during their career for things like being on the Mitchell Report or buying drugs from the Pittsburgh Pirates mascot, those kind of things, that is a minus 1/2 a point each. All right, Mark, I have got I've got a wide variety of tops here, ranging all the way from 1990 all the way to 1992. I'm going to let you choose what year you want to use.
Let's go with 1990.
Okay. I mean, we always do we've got plenty of 1990 episodes.
Why make it a selection if you don't want to do it?
No, we're doing it. It's 1990. Don't worry that we have 85 or 82. Some we haven't pulled before, but no, we'll go with 1990. All right, Mark, I'm going to have you go first then, since I allowed you to pick this year that we always do. But, oh, shoot. All right, you have got a Hall of Famer right out the gate. Somebody that we know that. It's Gary Carter, the kid.
Nice.
Let's see. These should be easier to find pictures of this year. Let's see. The good news for you, beyond the Hall of Fame bonus, Gary, being a catcher, is wearing no ear flaps on his batting helmet in this picture.
Nice.
So it's good. This looks like it's probably right at the beginning of the year. It's at Shea Stadium, but he's got a turtleneck on and long sleeves, like it's still cold. But these are all good things for you so far. Gary Carter, overall 19 years in the big leagues, most of it with Montreal, 12 with Montreal. Although, I mean, it's Mets or nothing for me. I mean, Montreal's second for me when I think of him. For 5 years in Flushing, and then the Dodgers and the Giants, he decided to go West Coast for the final 2 years of his season, final 2 years of his career. 1990 was that first year in San Francisco. Appeared in 92 games as a 36-year-old. He hit .254, .324 on base. Let's see, 9 home runs, only 27 RBI, and a 104 OPS plus, and that is good for a 1.8 WAR, plus the Hall of Fame bonus, plus the no ear flap batting helmet will get you to a 2.9. He was on the baseball bunch right away, so
yeah,
that's going to be your pop culture. He did not appear on The Simpsons, Sabrina, or Seinfeld, though, unfortunately for you. Oh, but speaking of The Simpsons, he was traded by Montreal to the Mets for Huey Brooks, Mike Fitzgerald, Herm Winningham, who was also on Red Hots, but also Floyd Yeomans. I don't know why Floyd Yeomans was not on The Simpsons. I'm thinking of Esteban Yan for some reason and getting them mixed up.
Yeomans, Yan.
It's the same letter.
Yeah, the syllables are different, but that's okay.
All right, so that will be a 3.4 for you. And let's see who you're going to be going up against. I've got somebody who was also an Athletic, I think maybe even this year. Here, it is Bobby Witt, the pitcher. Or is that Bobby Witt Sr.? I guess should I say that?
Yeah.
I
think so.
I think I called Mike Witt, Bobby Witt Jr.'s father at one point on one of these podcasts, which is obviously not correct. Let's see. This is a cool card. It looks like it's possibly in spring training, but whoever his catcher is about to flip him a ball from up close. It's an interesting card, but nothing that's going to help you out there. Let's see. Bobby Witt the Sr., 1986 through 2001. Overall, 16 years in the big leagues, 11 with Texas, 3 with Oakland. Everybody else just a single season. At the end of the career there, he was shuffling around a lot. 1990, he was with the Rangers, 17-10 with a 3.36 ERA, 220 innings pitched, 197 hits allowed, 221 strikeouts. Wow. So he allowed almost 25 fewer hits than innings pitched, and struck out 1 less than innings pitched. That is impressive. Didn't receive any Cy Young votes, though. And an ERA plus of 117 and a WAR of 3.2.
Whoa.
So I've got a chance here. I doubt he did a whole lot of acting. Just my guess. He's not a triple threat.
Go stand up.
He does stand up, definitely, but he doesn't act. Member of the 2001 Arizona D-backs, who won the World Series, of course. Overall first-round draft pick by the Rangers, 3rd overall in 1985. Traded by the Rangers with Jeff Russell and Ruben Sierra to the A's for Jose Canseco.
Oh, wow.
I think the A's, they didn't get to go to a World Series with him, but I think the A's definitely won that trade.
Yeah. This is interesting with Bobby Witt Jr., of course, tearing things up and that second generation. There are some possible third generation stars here coming out because Bobby Sr.'s daughter, Nikki, is married to ex-Major Leaguer James Russell. His daughter, Kiana, is married to ex-Major Leaguer Zach Neal. And his daughter, Shaylee, is married to ex-Major Leaguer Cody Thomas.
Wow. They have a type. Now, how about this? Do I get credit for he's got an IMDb page. He's done some TV work, but he is apparently in the movie facing Nolan.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, which I watched it recently and I don't remember him. I don't think that's going to count. I think I'm going to just miss out here.
Yeah, I don't know. Tough call.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you decide.
No, that's a documentary. I think he just showed up because he was in uniform in a highlight. But all right, so you're up 1-0, Mark. Your next card. Oh, one of my favorite relievers. In fact, you know what? He might be my favorite reliever of all time. With the A's, it's Gene Nelson. Dude had some good lettuce, sidearm.
Yes, he did.
He's got a good mustache here in this card, too. Like, I am going to give you 0.2 of a point. Maybe because it's Gene Nelson and I freaking love him. I remember, though, it might have been in 90. He got hit at the beginning of the season in the dugout with a foul ball and broke his pitching hand and missed.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was because he was so good for them. Like, he was that right-handed bridge to Eckersley. And then Honeycutt was exactly the lefty.
Mr. Setup.
Yeah.
And he was darn good at it.
Yeah, really good. Now, we can't give you all the stats because Baseball Reference has been just ass the last couple of days. And we are sitting here, both of us, with tabs that just say loading and are spinning forever. I'm sorry, again, what did you say?
The WAR was 0.3 in 1990 for Gene Nelson.
0.3. All right. He's got the mustache bonus as well. I am pretty sure I don't remember him doing any sort of TV pop culture type stuff.
Yeah, that I doubt.
Yeah, not much of a Wikipedia page. But Gino, know that you're my guy.
That's what's important.
That's what's important. All right. So you got a 0.5. You're going to be okay. I am not just pulling A's because I love this team. I have got high school phenom, and I am only signing with the A's, but didn't. Actually, you know what? He went on to have an okay career. He played for a while. It's Todd Van Poppel.
An old buddy of mine.
let's see here.
I actually have here in my possession the very first lineup card from Todd Van Poppel's debut.
Get out in the big leagues or
Yes.
at Tacoma? Wow.
In the big leagues.
You have it signed?
It is signed.
Nice.
It was gifted to me after he didn't quite become the Cy Young Award winner. He had a good career, though. He did all right.
Yeah, he did. And so this is just him in a high school jersey, so not going to be anything there. But yeah, he went on, let's see, 11 years in the big leagues, 5 with Oakland, 3 with Texas, and then a bunch of other teams. But he would be a spot starter after those first couple of years, mainly out of the bullpen. But overall, those are the kind of guys, if you stick around as a right-hander for 11 years, you're doing okay. His rookie year wasn't until 1991. Yeah, you're gonna get I've got nothing there. I've got a 0. Usually that works in my favor, but no,
Right.
You've got a 0.5. I don't know. I don't remember anything off the field, and I don't see anything here.
Todd was very non-controversial. Just knowing him personally, I knew him well enough to call him friend, and he was just a good guy. He was honest, a lot of integrity.
Scott, he was the first big Scott Boras guy, wasn't he? Where I mean, I'm guessing the way you describe him, Todd Van Poppel wasn't like, I'm not signing with anybody except for Oakland.
No,
I'm guessing that was
not like that.
Boras thing. Yeah. All
he was
right.
very friendly, very yes ma'am, no ma'am.
All right. Well, do me a favor. Send me a picture of that lineup card. That's really cool. I'd like to see that. All right. That's 2-0 for you. This is not good. All right. Your next card. We seem to be in a bunch here. You have got from the Texas Rangers, Jeff Russell.
Jeff Russell. Yes. He played for Oakland at one point, didn't he?
Yep, sure did. I think he came over in that trade we just talked about. We'll see here again in a minute, but he's got a good beard going on here. This picture is in Oakland. He's in the visitors' dugout, pensively looking on the field. Whether he's actually watching a game or just posing, I don't know. But there will be mustache bonus for the for the facial hair. Let's see. Out of Wyoming, Ohio. Never heard of Wyoming, Ohio, but now I have. Overall, 14 years in the big leagues, 10 with Texas, 2 with Boston and Cincinnati, and then Cleveland and Oakland for a year apiece. In 1990 with Texas. This is your card, right? I was going to say I can't get a break, but he's 1-5 with a 4.26 ERA. He must have been hurt. 25 and a third inning, 23 hits, 16 strikeouts, a 93 ERA plus, and a minus 0.4 WAR. But you got the beard / mustache, so that'll only be a minus 0.3.
It's interesting that he was that bad in 90 after 89 just being like probably his penultimate year.
His final second to last year?
Is in 89. He won the Rolaids Relief Man Award.
Yeah, but penultimate means second to last.
I knew that.
And you can learn more about these kind of words on our English grammar podcast.
I'm sure where that even came from. His best year was 89. And I just missed it with that 1990 card.
Yeah. So, yeah, he was involved in that trade with Rubo, Bobby Witt, and he for Jose Canseco. There you go. I doubt he likewise has many media appearances.
Doesn't appear to.
You would think, though, when you were the Rolaids Relief Pitcher of the Year, you'd be in a commercial wearing that fireman's helmet that they got.
Yeah. Wouldn't you?
I would think you would, but I don't see anything here. Pitching coach for the San Rafael Pacifics in 2013. Nice.
Here's where you're hoping for your guy that didn't play.
Yeah, so you've got a minus 0.3. Let's see who we got going up against him. Oh, no, I think this guy was clean through his career. I know he's been coaching quite a bit as well. With the New York Yankees, Roberto Kelly. Let's see. Oh, this is a very interesting card. So it's during BP. He's got his Yankees BP jersey on. I have this jersey. It's a pullover. It's just a classic BP jersey. But he's playing catch, but he is wearing a batting helmet with no ear flaps on. So what's our ruling here?
I think you get the 10th of a point.
I agree. I'm going to agree with you because he's my guy.
I'm just being honest.
I don't know. He must have worn it. I don't know why you would have it on if you're not a catcher. But Roberto Kelly, overall 14 years in the big league, 7 with the Yankees, and then a bunch of other teams, including 1 year in 1997 with your Seattle Mariners.
It was a big deal because he was by name.
he was a name. He hit 298.
Not a huge name, but a name.
He hit 298. Didn't get on base a whole lot, but it was still a 122 OPS plus for that year. But we're looking at 1990, in which he played in all 162 games. Hit 285, 323 on base, almost exactly the same as when he was with the Mariners. 106 OPS plus, 15 home runs, 61 RBI, 42 stolen bases. 106, I already said 106 OPS plus, but a 5.5 WAR.
You barely beat me.
Yeah, so if he was named 8 times on the Mitchell report, I think I'd still be okay.
I love this. It was known as La Sombra, Spanish for shadow.
Oh, nice. He was also involved in trades. He was traded for Paul O'Neill. He was traded for Deion Sanders. He was traded for Marquise Grissom and Esteban Yan. There's my Esteban Yan sighting right there. But yeah, I don't think it doesn't matter if he was in any pop culture references. Does not matter to me. All right, I got my first win. It's 2-1. All right, Mark, your next card, staying on the West Coast with the Angels, and you will get pop culture reference here. It's Chuck Finley. All right, nothing on this baseball card is going to get you any love. I know when we get to the pop culture, though, I'm going to be very excited, but nothing there. Let's see, overall 17 years in the big leagues, 14 with the California Angels, then 3 with Cleveland, and a final year in 2002 with St. Louis. 1990, let's see, that would be an all-star year, so good news for you. He went 18-9 with a 2.4 ERA, 236 innings pitched, only 210 hits allowed, struck out 177 for a 1.58 ERA. Plus, came in 7th in the Cy Young voting and had a 7.7 WAR. Wow, that's a very good year. Overall, first-round draft pick, 4th overall in the 1985 draft by the Angels. And now, Mark, let's get into the good stuff. Sure, let's start there. When you've got a whole Wikipedia page and there's 4 paragraphs under marriage, you're in for a good time.
Yes, he married Tawny Katane.
Crawling over the hood in a White Snake music video.
That's right. They were featured together in the 1999 Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. So there's some pop culture points.
Yeah, Tawny Katane is self-contained pop culture points.
She was on Seinfeld. Does that crossover count?
I don't think I can count that one.
Okay, it was worth mentioning.
Yeah, definitely worth mentioning. Yeah. I want to know about the library scandal, though.
The library scandal. Oh, yeah.
We don't get a lot of this. Let's see. 2016, a library in Florida, the staff created a fictitious patron named Chuck Finley to manipulate the library's circulation records. It checked out over 2,600 books within a 9-month period. Designed
was a reader, man.
Designed to prevent the automated weeding system from discarding titles that had not been borrowed for an extended time. So this is a good thing, I think. Following an anonymous
the system is never good, my friend.
No, they're keeping they ban enough books in Florida. Let's try and keep some of them. The librarians did not personally benefit from the scheme. Their actions were to teach the system how to better reflect reader interest. The former Major League pitcher was not involved in the scandal. But still very interesting, though.
He was very close to making the Hall of Fame, becoming eligible, and as of 2008, he received 1 vote and then was dropped from future consideration.
Yeah.
So close.
So close. All right. This is going to be an exciting one because I have got a Hall of Famer.
Oh,
with the Minnesota Twins. I think you can guess who it is. It's Puck.
Could it be Kirby?
Kirby Puckett, yeah. Let's see. So you ended up with an 8.2 BT Dubs. The card here, he's got eye black and he's got a mustache, of course. He had that little Fu Manchu thing going on. So that'll help. So right out of the gate, I am at 1.2 before we even look at his numbers. Overall, Puck, 12 years in the big leagues, all of them, of course, with the Twins. 1990, good news for me, all-star year. He was an all-star every year of his career except for the first two. But no Gold Glove this year. One of the few years he did not win a Gold Glove. Overall, 6 Gold Gloves in his 12-year career. Let's see. Hit 298, 365 on base, a 446 slugging, 12 home runs. Oh, wow. In 146 games, he only hit 12 home runs. I guess he didn't always have a whole bunch of power. 80 RBI, 5 stolen bases. This is just not boding. A 121 OPS plus and a 2.8 WAR. Yeah, 2 World Series, of course. First round pick by the Twins in the 82 draft. 3rd overall. He was accused of some things off the field, but has since been proven innocent of these things. And there's some pretty serious allegations here. But these things,
he was actually found not guilty on all counts.
Yeah. Now, that does not mean that he did not do something roughly in the area of these things, but he was found innocent. Unlike Pete Rose, I guess Pete Rose wasn't found guilty of it either. But nothing I think that's going to help me. I think Chuck Finley is going to soundly defeat Kirby Puckett.
Yeah, I think so this time around.
All right. So it is now 3-1. I am falling behind here. Your next card, 1990. I'm not sure. Was this the Rookie of the Year card for Jerome Walton of the Cubs?
Oh man, I think it may have been.
He's got the cup on his card.
Okay.
That's a good thing. That should be a bonus, right? If you've got a Topps cup on your card, rookie cup, that's a bonus.
Absolutely.
At least 10th of a point, if not half. We're going half. Half a point for that. And I'm going to give you 80s baseball aesthetics because under his batting helmet in this staged picture in a batting cage, he's wearing his hat.
He's got his hat on
underneath it as well.
Awesome. Just like I used to.
So that'll be a 0.6 just right out of the gate there before we look at any of his numbers. 1990, let's see. No, his rookie year was 1989 when he won the Rookie of the Year. Okay. But, oh, wow, there was a pretty steep drop here in his numbers. Overall, he hit 263, 350 on base, 329 slugging, 2 home runs, 21 RBI. In 101 games, 2 home runs, 21 RBI. He did have 14 stolen bases and 80... Where did they move? Oh, there it is. An 83 OPS plus and a minus 0.9 WAR.
Ouch.
Yikes. That is after a positive 1.9 his rookie year, and the next year a positive 1.3.
Nice pick.
So, yeah, your sandwich pick did you in there.
All right, see if you can get someone who didn't play.
Let's see here. We've talked about this, that he replaced the Sean-o-meter with the Jerome-o-meter, which I hope they had some low numbers when they were doing that.
Yeah, I remember the Sean-o-meter very well.
Yeah.
Not so much the Jerome-o-meter.
No, didn't quite catch on. All right, so that's a minus 0.3 for you with Jerome Walton. And I have got, and of course it's a red from 1990, Ron Oster.
Ron Oyster. I don't know how to say it properly.
Oster. I'm fairly certain that is it. Oester. Not a lot going on. I mean, it's a pullover jersey, but teams had those in 1990. This bat, it looks like he's got this bat looks like it's very short, slung over his shoulder, but I nothing that's going to help me there. Overall, Ron, 13 years in the big leagues. Every single one of those games was for the Cincinnati Reds. 1990 was his final year. He appeared in 64 games, hit 299, a 339 on base, a 377 slugging, no home runs, 13 RBI, a 94 OPS plus for a WAR of exactly 0.0.
good enough.
We'll see. Maybe he was juicing. We don't know. But, of course,
I don't think he was.
Won a World Series in 1990, but we're not going to talk about it.
No, that's on do not talk about list.
Yes. Yeah, nothing else there. Ron Oster is going to help me out and bring me to within one. It is 3-2. And your next card is, boy, I had so many autographs from this guy. It is with the San Francisco Giants, Jim Gott. Gott. He was handing out autographs like they were candy at one point.
I remember being somewhere that he appeared and people were like, he's got a pen.
I think he always had a pen. But
get away.
Nothing on this card is going to help you out. It's just a staged shot in spring training. So nothing there. All for Jim, 14 years in the big leagues, 5 with the Dodgers, 4 with the Bucks, and then 3 with the Blue Jays and the Giants. In 1990, he's with the Dodgers this year. I don't know. How did I get Giants? I don't know. But he went 3-5 with a 2.9 ERA. That's a great ERA for a middle reliever guy from the pen. 69 innings pitched, only 59 hits allowed, 44 strikeouts, a 1.28 ERA plus, and a positive 0.3 for you.
Now, I got a possible pop culture reference, but you're going to have to rule on it.
All right, hit me with it.
All right. He taught Dennis Quaid to pitch for his portrayal of Jim Morris in the film The Rookie.
Count it.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're like an on-set consultant for shows or movies, absolutely that counts. But yeah, that looks like that'll help you. So that's a 0.8 for you. Not bad from Jim Gott.
No, I'll take it.
And you are going up against backstop for the St. Louis Cardinals. He's got to be tied for the most Z's in his name in Major League history. It's Tom Bagnazzi. I mean, Rizzo and Rizzuto probably tied there with him. But anyway, this is a very interesting card. It's during spring training. He's got Pedro Guerrero is sitting next to him in the dugout. But he is working on a catcher's mitt. I'm assuming it says number 19 on it. That's his number. I don't know if he's relacing it or what he's doing, but he's working on it, but it's not going to help me out at all. Let's see. Tom Pagnazzi, 12 years in the big leagues, all of it for the St. Louis Cardinals. In 1990, he only appeared in 69 games, hit 277, 321 on base, 373 slugging, 2 home runs, 23 ribs, and a 91 OPS plus. But that defense behind the plate is going to help me out. He has got a 2.1 WAR.
Wow.
I will take that.
That's some serious defense.
Yeah.
I remember he was the reason they moved. Remember Todd Zeile was a big catching prospect?
I vaguely do remember that. And
they moved him to third base because they liked Pagnazzi so much.
I mean, he's 12 years behind the plate for him. I think he did a pretty good job. Yeah. His nephew, Matt Pagnazzi, made his Major League debut in 2009 for the Cardinals. I don't remember that. Placed in the top 5 in Cardinals franchise history in games caught, innings caught, put out, stolen bases allowed, caught stealing, and fielding percentage. Good defensive catcher. And with that WAR, it's gonna win that round for me.
Oh man.
We're tied up now.
We're in a battle.
3-3, just like the overall score of 18-18.
Yes.
Okay. It's apropos that you get this card. I think you're probably going to win this round. You've got Ken Griffey Jr., if you've heard of this guy. Now, 1990, this is beginning of his career. Yeah, it's the rookie. So let's see. You're going to get Hall of Fame right out of the gate. You're going to get the Topps card or cup on there. And he's got that little teenage mustache that he was trying to grow when he first came up. So that is a 1.6 out of the gate before we even look at his numbers. And look at his numbers we shall. Let's see. Overall, 22 years in the big leagues, 13 for Seattle, 9 for Cincinnati, and then that wonderful the end of the 2008 season with the White Sox. In 1990, he was an all-star, the first of his career, also won a Gold Glove. So you're stacking now.
Yes.
You're stacking. You're at 2.6 already. Hit 300 exactly, 336 on base, 481 slugging, 22 home runs, 80 RBI, 16 stolen bases, and a 136 OPS plus a 5.2 WAR.
And the best part, he was in Homer at the bat.
That's right. Oy. All right. Well, we'll get Homer there. That's a whole extra point. Not Sabrina, though, and not Seinfeld. He did have his own video game. He's been in plenty of commercials, so you'll get another half a point for just pop culture, general everything. I mean, he's still doing commercials. He's still in new commercials today.
He sure is, yep.
And, of course, he has joined his old teammate Randy Johnson in becoming a professional photographer.
That's right.
All right, so that's a 9.3 for you. And Ken Griffey Jr. is going to be going up against hurler, is the best way I can think to describe him, for the Kansas City Royals, Charlie Leibrandt.
Nice.
Let's see. He's with the Braves on this card, spring training, so there you go. Nothing here on this card that is going to help me out, though. Charlie Leibrandt, 14 years in the big league, 6 with the Royals, 4 with the Reds, 3 with Atlanta, 1 with Texas. In 1990 with Atlanta, he went 9-11 with a 3.16 ERA, 162 and a third innings pitched, 164 hits, 76 Ks, a 128 ERA plus, and a WAR of 3.2, which would be great in most rounds. But I'm going up against 1990 Ken Griffey Jr., so no, it is not great. Nope, nothing was not on Sabrina the Teenage Witch, The Simpsons, or Seinfeld.
No, this is a big round right here.
It was for you. It is now 4-3.
No, I'm saying this one right here, man. This is a do or die for you.
Well, that was my card. I've lost to your Ken Griffey Jr.
No, I'm saying this next round.
Oh yeah, it is.
This is a big deal right here.
I got to do it. I'm going up against your card, who is another Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher, Bob Patterson. Let's see. He's got real stirrups because this is an actual game shot. Not a lot of 1990 Topps was actual game footage, but this is. Oh, look who showed up in my Google search along with Bob Patterson is Bob Friend. Robert Bartmus Friend. Coincidence. Right there. Let's see. So you'll get the stirrups points just right out of the chute there. Bob Patterson, 13 years in the big league, 6 with the Bucks, 3 with the Cubs, 2 with the California Angels, Texas and San Diego for 1. 1990 with the Bucks, he went 8-5 with a 2.95 ERA. Had a couple of spot starts, mainly out of the bullpen. Also had 5 saves. 94 and 2/3 innings, 88 hits allowed, 70 Ks for a 123 ERA plus and a 1.4 WAR, which really for a middle reliever that sometimes started and sometimes closed, that's a great WAR total.
That's a solid year.
During his career, known as the Glove Doctor, as he would repair broken gloves. He and Tom Pagnozzi should hang out then. Looks like they should have something in common. But overall, all right, that's a 1.5 for you, which off of Bob Patterson, I wouldn't check a stick at. And you're going to be going up against my pitcher, Tim Belcher, with the Dodgers. Well, Belch has got some real stirrups on, so I'll take it to at least start out that way.
Yeah, he won a few games in his career.
14 years in the big leagues, 5 with the Dodgers, 3 in Kansas City, 2 for the Royals and Anaheim, and then 1 for Detroit, the White Sox, and your Seattle Mariners. I don't remember that. 1995. Okay. 1990 with the Dodgers, went 9-9 with a 4.0 even ERA, 153 innings, 136 hits allowed, 102 strikeouts, and 92 ERA plus. And that is a 0.8 WAR, which still leaves me a bit of work.
Yes.
Let's see. That'll be a 0.9 overall. First round draft pick, first round overall in the 83 draft by the Twins. He says, nah, I'm good. Then in the secondary draft, first round, first overall pick by the Yankees. And he says, yeah, that's what I want. Was traded for Rick Honeycutt at one point. Traded for Eric Davis at one point. And traded for Roger Salkeld. That's how he got to Seattle.
Yep.
But yeah, that's none of that is gonna help me enough. I'm afraid I have lost again. And now I was like 5 up on you, and now you could take my trophy back next week.
It's going to be a nervous week for you, man.
Yeah, a lot of anxiety floating around the clubhouse. But anyway, that'll do it for this rendition, this episode, this session of Wax Packs Heroes. Also going to do it for this week and the show. As we wrap it up, if you want more of us, you can always find more of us. Just look in the show notes or just search Two Strike Noise, TWO Strike Noise, in your preferred search engine. Also remind you that I do stream generally 3 times a week on Twitch, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at around 9 o'clock Pacific time. If you want a condensed version of this show where I just do baseball dailies and babble, make sure to join me there. But Mark, we also got an email address.
Sure. You can write to us at Two Strike Noise, spell it out, TWO Strike Noise @gmail.com.
There you go. All right. That'll do it for this week's episode. We will see you next week on another episode of Two Strike Noise.
Thank you. God bless you. Have a nice day.